The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Proton Pack Podcast. I'm Kristian. With me always is the Ted to my John, Tony. Say hey, Tone.
Hey, John.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I would love a beer. Let's do it.
I know. Sounds good. It's not too early. You know, it's what, 11 o'clock your time? So,
yeah, well, I got to go to work here in a few hours, so I can't. But
bummer.
here nor there. While you're watching this, I'll be at work. Ooh.
Exactly. Well, folks, let's go ahead and kick things off almost the way we do each and every day. We've been doing shameless plugs for the entirety of the run of this show. We're on episode 72 now, I think.
And 71, I think. 70? 71?
But
71.
We decided we're going to go away from the shameless plugs, drop just a little mention real quick of Phoenix Media, and you can download the app on your smart TV or mobile device at ngbn.tv. From there, just find the Phoenix Media channel. You can watch this show and other great shows through that app for anything on Phoenix Media. So with that being said, wanted to dedicate a little more time to our review segment because last Wednesday debuted the premiere of Loki on Disney+. It's something we've been looking forward to. It is one of those things that, WandaVision was, fun but weird. And, we really enjoyed the hell out of it just because it was, sort of outside of the norm. We had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was obviously a little more grounded, a little more Captain America based. But now we're back to the strange and mystical side of the Marvel Universe with Loki. And of course, we got, the first episode, which, you've got Tom Hiddleston back as Loki. You've got Owen Wilson as Mobius A. Mobius. I don't know if that's his middle initial, but it's something.
Mobius A. Mobius. Mob. He's mobbing through your city.
And, of course, works for the TVA, which is the Time Variance Alliance. And, I don't know about you, Tone. I enjoyed the hell out of the first episode. Yes, it was a lot of setup to, how the rest of the series is going to play out. But at the same time, if you think about it, the Loki that you get with the series is the Loki who was the big bad from the Avengers, just got caught trying to do world domination, hasn't experienced the events of Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Ragnarok, Infinity War, so he hasn't become quite the anti-hero yet that he was in, by the end of Endgame. No, Infinity War is where he died. He wasn't even back for Endgame.
He didn't make it to Endgame, yeah.
Exactly. But with that being said, they had a lot of catching up to do with him to get him to the point where, he is that lovable sort of anti-hero again. And I think they handled it really well. Everything down from, the TVA, sort of that 1970s look and feel of, a bureaucratic society, even to what they do in going out and trying to fix the various timelines and how they explain it. And of course, they've got that fun sort of Jurassic Park-like cartoon that gives you all of that exposition that goes back to, how time works and what they're trying to do to avoid a multiverse, which we know is coming. We just don't know how yet. And so, Loki episode 1 for me, I would say a solid 8.5 out of 10 at this point, and just looking forward to where it goes. What about you, Tone?
I'm going to give it up there with you, man. I'm going to say a 9 out of 10. Very enjoyable. Gripped me from the beginning. I love the fact that they recap it a bit. They jump into 2012 events, right? Well, the in-game version of it, right. As far as when he's caught, and then he takes the Tesseract, and then it just jumps to him landing and him quoting his exact line of saying that he is the we had the first line from the first movie, "A glorious purpose."
Yes.
And he said all that same line from Avengers, but it was great how it picked up right there, and no one cares. I like the jokes of the Infinity Stones just being paperweights in the TVA. Time handles differently there. Him getting to recap his life and them saying, no, this is what should have happened. This is what's going to happen, and this is what you're meant to do. And he has to witness his mom dying, and then he transports and he sees how he becomes close with his brother after betraying his brother multiple times, and then seeing his ultimate demise, and that's scaring him like, oh, well, how can I change that? Well, in the TVA, they don't want him to change it, but they need his help to stop him, which I got a feeling it's going to be the female version of him. I think it's going to be Lady Loki, as they've already kind of spoiled and said that he is gender fluid in this. So that'd be my thought. Will it be the big bad? I don't know, but the main protagonist going forward might be Lady Loki. Just a thought.
Yeah, and, obviously it's not really a spoiler because, they've hinted towards these different things. But, this version, this variation of Loki isn't meant to exist. So him working with the TVA, obviously, sets him on some new adventures. But, by the end of the episode, they reveal that who they're hunting is another variation of him. Lady Loki is most likely. We may even see the old Loki, which was a staple of the comic books for a while as well. And so it'll be interesting to see where they go. But it is Tuesday, which means that tomorrow, episode 2 will be coming out.
Yeah, and we'll have a review next week. But this is definitely a great series. Check it out. It's entertaining from start to finish. Sad to know there's only going to be 6 episodes in this run, but it looks like they're going to be about 40-plus minutes long. Yeah. I don't think we're getting the short 30 minutes like we did with Wanda. So should be a good thing. And, kudos to Tara Strong being the voice of the little clock in the show.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was reading just before we started the show that Loki is the most downloaded Disney Plus premiere show ever at this point. So it's already wildly popular, and for obvious reasons.
Definitely worth checking out. So
exactly. With that, folks, we're headed into our commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking TV news. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Behold, my precious. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box. Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Box. What's with kids today, huh?
Wowzers! With crates starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX media.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it!
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. And welcome back, folks, to the Proton Pack podcast. Now, we just finished our review of Loki Episode 1. Looking forward to Episode 2 tomorrow. But with this segment, that takes us straight into the TV news.
Bazinga.
The cream of the crop!
Hey, baby.
Let's go, Bob. Excellent.
Hail to the king, baby.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, dude!
Well, as we alluded to at the top of the show, this bit of news is for all those Seth MacFarlane fans out there.
Hey, Johnny, how about a beer, huh?
Peacock has given a straight-to-series order to Ted, a live-action comedy series based on Seth MacFarlane's hit 2012 movie from Universal Pictures. MacFarlane is in negotiations to reprise the voice of the lovable foul-mouthed teddy bear. MacFarlane and Erica Huggins will executive produce through MacFarlane's Fuzzy Door. The project stems from MacFarlane's blockbuster overall deal with Universal. For now, there are no plans for the film's Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis to appear in the series, which is expected to be a prequel to the 2012 movie. MRC Films and Universal Pictures' Ted, directed by MacFarlane, in his feature helming debut and written by MacFarlane, Alex Sulkin and Wesley Wild, starred Wahlberg and Kunis, with MacFarlane providing the voice and motion capture of the title character. And of course, Ted 2 came out a couple years later. I'd argue just as funny, had Amanda Seyfried instead of Mila Kunis, which I don't know why they couldn't get Kunis back, considering how closely they worked together on Family Guy. But went back and watched Ted 1 the other day. Still funny as hell. Is this a series you'll be watching, Tone?
Oh, definitely. I'll check it out. I mean, it's still done from the same people, so, you can't go wrong, especially gives Peacock more... this is probably the best place to put it. Like, it wouldn't do well on network television, but Peacock streaming, absolutely. I think that would be a good place to put that. So
definitely. Now Peacock just needs to figure out how to get their app onto Amazon Fire TV instead of me having to go to my PlayStation in order to access Peacock, because it's a pain in the ass to do that every time.
Yeah, their app is not user-friendly. It's finally on Samsung devices. So if you have a Samsung TV, finally, you can download the app, but man, you basically have to get on your Xbox or your PlayStation just to get the app on there. So it's a little nightmare. It's not even on the Fire Stick or anything, like you just said. It's kind of a difficult little thing to get for some reason.
Yeah. Well, either way, it will be on there. No release date yet, but we know it's in the works. And as we get closer, I'm sure they'll drop a trailer, and I'm excited for it. With that being said, let's move from Peacock over to Netflix. With Stranger Things' 4th season still in production, Netflix shed a little more information on what fans can expect, including 4 new cast members. Amy Beth McNulty, best known for her work in Anne with an E, plays Vicky, a cool, fast-talking band nerd who catches the eye of one of the beloved heroes. According to Netflix, Miles Truitt plays Patrick, a Hawkins-based basketball star who has friends, talent, and a good life until shocking events send his life spiraling out of control. Regina Ting Chen plays Miss Kelly, a popular guidance counselor who cares deeply for her students, especially those struggling the most. Finally, Grace Van Dyne will play Chrissy, Hawkins' high Hawkins High lead cheerleader and the most popular girl in school, but beneath the seemingly perfect surface lies a dark secret. And we mentioned a couple episodes ago that Robert Englund finally came in to shoot his part. Prior to the pandemic, I thought season 4 was done, that we were getting ready to, have them drop it at a point where it made sense, but they're still working on it. And let's see if they mention when they expect it to come out. Nope. Not a clue at this point.
Yeah. I got a feeling this is going to come early 2022. I'd like to see it sooner because, the cast is just getting older and older, and which is fine. There is an end date. They said season 5 was it, but man, you got Robert Englund in it, and it sounds like they're going to be going pretty much high school at this point. My thought, this is going to be the trying times of their friendship and stuff, and I'm sure it's going to have to take a jump in time, right?
A little bit. Yeah, my guess is it will take place like 1987, 88. Season 5, probably 1989, so that way the entire series is contained into the 1980s.
Yeah. It's a great show, nonetheless. I'm excited, but this has been a long stretch between seasons, though. Oof.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, but as we get more information, we'll be happy to share it with you guys. Well, let's go ahead and move from Netflix over to Disney Plus. We know that the Disney Plus Marvel series and Star Wars series have been fantastic so far. Well, we've got a new bit of casting news for another Marvel series. Marvel's She-Hulk series for Disney Plus continues to round out its cast, and the latest edition should prove to be a formidable opponent for Jennifer Walters. It seems that Jameela Jamil from The Good Place has joined She-Hulk in a major role, which is said to be Titania, the Marvel supervillain with strength to rival She-Hulk herself. She-Hulk will center on Jennifer Walters, played by Tatiana Maslany, a lawyer and cousin of Bruce Banner, who inherits his Hulk powers after receiving a blood transfusion from him. However, unlike her cousin, Jennifer is able to retain much of her personality, intelligence, and emotional control when she transforms. In addition to Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk will star Ginger Gonzaga and Renee Elise Goldsberry, as well as Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, the Hulk, of course, and Tim Roth as the Abomination, a role he hasn't played since The Incredible Hulk more than a decade ago. Tony, are you excited about this casting news? What do you think about Jameela Jamil?
I think it's going to be great. Anything Marvel, especially Marvel TV lately, has been great, fantastic. I just think it gives these characters more of a platform to develop versus just giving them a straight movie. It's going to kind of just build them up a lot more. So I think it's fantastic. And then, of course, you tie in Mark Ruffalo's appearances and stuff. It's going to be great. And the Abomination is back. It's great that they're able to do this, since Universal has the rights to the Hulk overall. So this is pretty cool. They don't have the rights to She-Hulk, which is good.
Apparently.
Yeah, just the Hulk. So he can't have his own stuff. So these are just other good ways to introduce that. So
yeah. Well, let's go ahead and keep moving on. And, typically we've got a trailer of the week that falls in line with a movie. But this week's trailer of the week falls in line with a TV series headed back over to Netflix. After much teasing from series showrunner Kevin Smith, Netflix and Mattel Television has finally released the Masters of the Universe Revelation teaser trailer. Coming straight from the streamer's Geeked Week series of announcements, the trailer offers a first look at Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Chris Wood as Prince Adam and He-Man, while also being accompanied by the best possible song choice for the footage. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get into it now. We're going to go ahead and play this trailer for you guys.
It's the trailer of the week.
We've seen it, but always enjoying seeing it again. Here is Masters of the Universe Revelation teaser trailer.
Time after time, you try to take this castle, but you will never succeed, Skeletor.
Call your champion.
Joker?
Yeah, he sounded like Joker there. Orko. Hell yeah, man.
I don't know about you, but that looks badass.
It looks great. A lot of childhood memories rolled back on that one. A lot of toys I remember having as a kid. The animation is wonderful. Wonderful. It made me think, I hope they bring back some other cartoons in that style, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something, because holy crap, dude, that looks good. It looks really good.
And we know, obviously, Kevin Smith is sort of the mind behind this and that he was trying to stay as true to the original as possible. And I think, this minute and 30-second teaser trailer shows just how true it is. It'll be interesting to see, obviously, Masters of the Universe has a huge cast of characters. How they'll roll them out throughout the seasons, if they're going to keep it sort of limited for season 1, and then we get more and more as the seasons go on. But, it brings me back fond memories of, everything smelling like patchouli oil from Stinkor in my toy box and, all of the Masters of the toys.
It really did. That skunk one, man. He stunk.
That he did. So, and we'll post this up on our Facebook page as well, so you guys can check it out on your own time as you need to. But
it's posted, ready to roll for you.
Needless to say, it looks fantastic. It hits Netflix on Friday, July 23rd, so we don't even have that long to wait before seeing it. So, cool stuff. And then finally here on TV news, just wanted to make a quick mention of something TV adjacent. Well, on Wednesday when Loki premiered on Disney+, you wouldn't have to wonder what kind of snack to serve for your viewing party. The mischievous Marvel anti-hero is taking over Lucky Charms cereal, transforming them into Loki Charms. The usual Lucky Charms mascot is Lucky the Leprechaun, but Tom Hiddleston's Trickster is replacing the packaging for a limited edition run of the cereal. The famous catchphrase, "They're magically delicious," has been tweaked to "They're mischievously delicious."
They're mischievously delicious. They're sold out already. They're already going on eBay for about $1,000.
No, seriously?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Sold out. Good luck if you got one, but sold out and in the hands of scalpers and collectors now.
Well, if I happen to come across a box, I'm picking up a few because, they'd be a fun little display piece, even though not a big fan of Lucky Charms in general.
Yeah, no, me either, but definitely a collector's box for sure.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that does it for TV news. When we come back, we're headed into the box office report and movie news. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Welcome back to the Proton Pack podcast, folks. You know, we just finished up with our TV news. We're going to run down a little bit of movie news, but not before we hit the weekend box office report. Well, after being nudged aside by other horrors last weekend, the PG-13 thriller A Quiet Place Part 2 went creeping back into the top of the box office with an estimated $11.6 million. Looks like its domestic total has amassed $108.9 million after 3 weekends and a worldwide total of $184.9 million. Fantastic movie. Tony, obviously, you've seen it twice in theaters to help add to that. But yeah, excellent. Really no signs of stopping, at least getting out of the top 10 anytime soon.
Nope, we would call that a box office success, and that's the most money I've seen at the box office in over a year and a half, it feels like. So good for that. Great news.
Nipping on its heels and in second place, the debut, and I know you were there first thing, right, Tone, for In the Heights.
Damn right.
Opened with $11.4 million. You know, it is
In the Heights.
The Lin-Manuel Miranda, John Chu musical movie I have zero desire to see, but already off to a good start money-wise for those who do want to see it.
Yeah. I've heard there's a couple of people that were fans of Hamilton will like it because it's from the same people. So I'm sure it'll do well. I have no desire to see it either. I'm in the same boat. That would be my thought on it.
In third place, which is kind of strange because it's a family movie, Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway opened with $10.4 million, which if you look at the top 3 movies, that means the weekend box office, you know, you're almost at $40 million within the top 3.
Right.
People are going, which is awesome. How do you really feel about Peter Rabbit 2, Tone?
So Mike went and saw this with Annabella over the weekend. And they were excited because they liked the first Peter Rabbit. And I'm not going to knock. So I went and saw The Conjuring with Lacey instead. But they came out and they were like, it was not as good as the first. And Mike didn't really like it. Annabella said it was great, but then only to be quoted by her grandma to say, you slept through the whole thing. And she goes, most of it. So
what she saw was great, right?
Yeah. So... Oh, man.
Oh, in fourth place was the horror sequel, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. $10 million this weekend. Of course, it's also available on HBO Max. Tony, just your quick thought on it.
Disappointing. I feel the same as you did on a quick review. It didn't have the same flavor as 1 and 2. Had a few spooky moments. It was real creepy in the beginning. And I will say the end during the credits when they played the actual exorcism tape and stuff, that was creepy, but everything else in it, I'm going to have to give it it kind of lacked.
It did. If you want my full review, just tune into last week's episode.
Yeah.
And then, in the fifth place, we had Disney's Cruella with $6.7 million, bringing its domestic total to $55.9 million.
Surprisingly good. I saw that over the weekend, too. I got to give that one a thumbs up. Now, disclaimer, if you're a parent and you might want to explain to your kids a couple things beforehand. Stealing is not okay. It's not okay to be a bad person. But this movie's about a villain, for God's sake. It's not about a good person. It shows how she got there, and there's a lot of bad things that take place. But overall, really enjoyed the movie. Thought it was good.
Good to know.
Surprisingly, I would probably say see it at home on Disney Plus when it's not a full-blown movie. Yeah, because it's hard to say bring the family because you really have to explain the whole thieving is not okay. But, man, do they take Jasper and Horace, make them into some fun characters, man.
Interesting. All right.
I really liked it. I give props to it. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
And then rounding out the top 10, in sixth place, we had Spirit Untamed with another $2.5 million. You had The House Next Door, Meet the Blacks 2 with $1.6 million. Nope. In eighth place, Wrath of Man, garbage movie, with $615,000. Ninth place, Queen Bees, $328,000. And then finally, rounding out the top 10, Spiral from the Book of Songs.
Spiral?
already!
$305,000. So that's your weekend box office report. And opening this weekend, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Not easy to say, but should be a blast.
Yeah, I got a feeling that'll be the number one this weekend. And I got to still watch the first one, which I did get on. I've never seen it. I bought it on Vudu for $4. So
there you go.
I have it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Now there's no excuse. Well, folks, that does it for the weekend box office. Let's roll into the movie news.
And here we go.
Are you the keymaster?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
We came, we saw, we kicked his ass.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
He said shit.
He did. So our movie news seems to be all somewhat horror themed, which is kind of interesting. Starting out with this one, cult rocker turned filmmaker Rob Zombie has recently been officially confirmed as the writer-director of the upcoming live-action feature film adaptation of the kitsch horror sitcom The Munsters. He's such a fan, in fact, that one of his biggest solo hits, Dragula, was literally based on Grandpa Munster's drag racer. Now, today, he's gone to Instagram to crowdsource fans on what tertiary side characters from the original should show up in the film. And we'll post this on the Facebook page, but you can see, some of the lesser known characters aside from, Grandpa Munster and Lily. We already know that Sherry Moon Zombie will be Lily Munster with Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster. But no other casting news beyond that. Tony, were you a fan of the Munsters? Are you going to be checking out this take on it from Rob Zombie?
I would say it would be interesting to watch because it's Rob Zombie. I'm sure he's a diehard fan, so he'll give this the love and dedication it needs. So I'll check it out. I was never a big Munster fan, though.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. It'll be interesting to see his foray into a non-horror movie. Obviously, Munsters was a sitcom, playful comedy. Be interesting to see how he does. So with that being said, let's move on to our next bit of horror movie news. And it actually is contradictory to something that we almost talked about on last week's show. But Kevin Bacon is set to face Toxie in Legendary's upcoming reboot of the Toxic Avenger. Currently in production with Macon Blair writing and directing, the reimagining of the Troma Entertainment classic will star Game of Thrones favorite Peter Dinklage as a new incarnation of the first superhero from New Jersey. Jacob Tremblay and Taylor Page are also a part of the movie, and the cast is gearing up to start filming later this month. Kevin Bacon has been tapped to play a slick and likely over-the-top villain. Just last week, there were reported rumors that Elijah Wood would be boarding the project to play the antagonist, described as the head of a shady company who embarks on a murderous spree to become as powerful as Toxie. It's unclear if this role Bacon has been cast in, but as the call sheet doesn't include Wood's name, it could be that his casting didn't work out or that the original report was erroneous. So I actually kind of like Kevin Bacon in the villain role over Elijah Wood. Never really a big Elijah Wood fan myself.
No, I think this project will be great. I think Kevin Bacon being in there as a villain, he was a great villain in the X-Men with the First Class. He was a great villain there. So I think he's going to do great with it. I don't remember the early Toxic Avenger movies. I know they were trauma, so they were a little weird and, a little probably above what I was allowed to watch at the time.
Right.
Yeah, because
they were hard R, if not X-rated, but oddly enough, they made a cartoon series that we were allowed to watch.
The Toxic Crusaders, right?
Yep.
Toxic Crusaders. So I was allowed to watch that, but I was not allowed to watch the trauma one. So that's probably why I'm not too familiar. I've seen a couple, and I'm just like, it's not.
Well,
but this could be pretty good. I would imagine big name stars, and it should be fun.
Yeah, and knowing little about it will make going into it that much more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Elijah Wood did mention, he mentioned how he wanted to reboot like Nightmare on Elm Street and a few other horror movies. And hey, if he was a fan of the series, I'm okay with it. I want somebody that loves the series to bring it back and give it the love it needs, not the crap we got.
Well, speaking of a series that needs to come back with the love it needs, and rounding out our movie news, when Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, they gained the rights to the Predator franchise and a 60% majority stake in Hulu. The other shareholder is Comcast, who will be selling their stake in the company to Disney by 2024, giving Disney full control and ownership of the streaming service. So it's not surprising to hear that Disney may be...
Oh, sorry. That was just supposed to be the Predator noise, not...
Jumping the gun. That they may be releasing a new Predator film. They have...
Sorry.
Man, that just keeps going.
I can't stop it.
This rumor comes
we haven't followed on D-Live. Welcome to Team Predator.
This rumor comes from the folks at AVP Galaxy, and their source is Mac Toberoff, the lawyer who is currently representing original Predator screenwriters Jim and John Thomas as they seek to gain the U.S. copyright for the first film, something they can do 35 years after the initial copyright transfer. According to AVP Galaxy, Toberoff mentioned during the court case that the new Predator film is going to be distributed by Hulu. If this pans out, Predator will be joining its old enemy, the Xenomorph, on Hulu. Disney and Fargo showrunner Noah Hawley are working on an Alien TV series that will run on the streaming service. So it'll be nice to get a true-to-form Predator version back and maybe straight to streaming with Hulu. What do you think, Tone?
I'd be excited to have it back. It's been a long time. The sequels all kind of sucked. Like every time they announced a new Predator, you got excited, and it was always disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't like the most recent one. The one that had Topher Grace in it and Adrian Brody, I thought was at least somewhat decent, but still
Predators, yeah.
1 and 2. So
yeah.
All right, folks, with that being said, we are headed to our next commercial and final commercial break before we bring you video game news. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Behold my process. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, yeah, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Loot Crate horror box. What's with you? today, huh?
Wowzers! With kits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors. To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/loot crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIXmedia.us/loot crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a loot crate, dig it?
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. All right, folks, we made it to the final segment of this episode of the Proton Pack podcast. We got through TV news. We got through movie news. Yes, it's time for video game news.
Hey, man, you want to play some video games? Hadouken!
So this past weekend, even rolling into today, was E3 2021. And in fact, next week's episode will be dedicated to all of the major announcements that came out of E3. Spoiler alert, there weren't a lot of them, but we'll talk about what there was announced. But in the meantime, with this week's video game news, we'll touch on a couple things, a couple teasers in that regard, and see if we're excited about it. And I think probably the biggest game announcement, not console announcement, was this one. So as part of its game showcase at E3 2021, Square Enix and developer Eidos Montreal have officially revealed Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, an all-new video game featuring the Marvel characters set to release for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC later this year on October 26th. According to the developer, the title sees the now iconic Guardians team of Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot trying to make a living out in space only to unintentionally cause some major problems of their own. In Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, players take on the role of Peter Quill, Star-Lord, as he attempts to wrangle his unruly band of misfits. This essentially means that you play as Star-Lord specifically during combat and conversations, manipulating the flow of the game's battles and dialogue by making decisions like the Guardians sell Groot or Rocket to Lady Hellbender for cash, or should Drax toss Rocket across to a ravine. It's also about more split-second decisions in the heat of battle, like what moves should be used and when. Tony, obviously you watched the trailer. We're going to post it on our Facebook page as well. You know, at first I kind of got the sense it was along the lines of what Square Enix did with Marvel's Avengers, but it sounds like you only get to play as Star-Lord, not as any of the tertiary characters in the group.
Yeah, it's, I'm not sure. I think you do just play as Star-Lord. It just says Guardians of the Galaxy, single player, story-driven, third-person, action-adventure, original Guardians universe. It looks like you'll be able to get some outfits. Hopefully you'll get to play as the other characters. doesn't show it's a completely original story, and the soundtrack is going to be a bunch of 80s tunes that they got licensed for. So like it'll be, they have an option to mute the in-licensed game, but it looks like they'll have Kiss, Iron Maiden, Rick Astley, New Kids on the Block, and all kinds of different varieties. So they got a ton of actual 80 songs, which I couldn't play in the trailer due to licensing, but they did get the license to have the game be all about the music. So for me, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to playing. I know the Avengers was a little bit of a disappointment. Graphic-wise, it was great.
Right.
But I had a lot of fun with the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game, which you can't get no more. And sadly, I bought the entire season, but because they lost the license, I never downloaded the 5th episode.
Oh, no.
And I missed out. And so I bought it, but I couldn't download the 5th episode. And even if you go and buy the disc, it sucks because you can only have episode 1s on the disc and you have to download the other episodes.
Which you can't do anymore.
No, so I have 1 through 4, so I don't know how the story ended, but it was a great story up until I got to the 5th, which I was pissed. I was like, damn it.
Hopefully we'll see a re-release down the road, but in the meantime,
it'd be nice.
This might be a good alternative to that.
I think it's great. It was probably, aside from Nintendo, which we'll talk about next week, it was probably the biggest reveal. There was some big ones. Again, we'll cover a lot of that next week, but this game I'm excited for. I'll definitely check it out. And they did just announce on the Nintendo Direct, which took place during the Phoenix show this morning. And this will also be coming out to the Nintendo Switch. So cool. Unlike the Avengers, which didn't come to the Switch, this will be out on the Switch as well. So
hey, that's good news. Now, you mentioned obviously the music that's going to be in it. Switching over to something else video game music related, Ubisoft's 10-year-old Rocksmith franchise will become an interactive music learning subscription service with its next entry, Rocksmith Plus. That's according to an email that guitar maker Gibson let slip before Ubisoft could announce the video game at its E3 keynote on Saturday. Per the marketing email, Ubisoft is apparently partnering with Gibson again, as the company's Epiphone, Kramer, and Gibson models of acoustic, electric, and bass guitars are specifically mentioned as compatible. A closed beta on PC will also begin soon, with registration open today. Well, it looks like that was as of 3 days ago, which is kind of cool. Newcomers and returning musicians will find an expansive library of songs in Rocksmith Plus's catalog. The program's riff repeater, which can control a song's speed to help players practice, also returns. The first Rocksmith launched in 2011, but only for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. That was followed 2 years later by Rocksmith 2014, considered a replacement rather than a sequel. That game launched for PC platforms in addition to 2 other consoles and their successors. If I was going to learn guitar, this would be the perfect way to do it. You learn notes, you learn, on songs that you know and love, and it's a really cool sort of interactive way to do all of that.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's if I would have stuck with it, it definitely would have taught me some. I've fiddled around with it. I do have it. Can't say I've played it a whole lot, but it is something I do own. I think the fact that it's a subscription service and now you can do it on your iPhone and stuff is probably better because now it's on the go. You don't necessarily have to prop in front of the console. You kind of go wherever. And if it teaches you some basic stuff and gets you to pick up the guitar, then that's awesome.
Yeah, and I would assume there's some sort of, iPhone or console peripheral that, you plug in that you then plug the guitar into. So that way it recognizes the notes you're playing and all of that stuff. And just a really cool idea and well overdue for those, looking to learn music.
Yeah, I think it's a great call. It's definitely would recommend it. So.
All right. Moving on from Rocksmith to an announcement that I know you were excited about, Tom. Konami had a hit on its hands when releasing a licensed arcade game based on The Simpsons way back in 1991, when arcade dens were still thriving. Now, 3 decades later, Arcade 1-Up announced at E3 2021 that Bart Simpson and his family are making a glorious return to the arcade scene with an upcoming colorful cabinet. It's pretty remarkable to think that The Simpsons is still relevant. Created by Matt Groening, The Simpsons first aired as a series of shorts in 1987 before being upgraded to a full-fledged standalone cartoon series in 1989. This cabinet looks to be right around the $500 mark. It is not on sale quite yet. It goes actually on pre-order on July 1st. And Tony, it might be just what you need to get into the arcade one-up cabinet realm.
$500 is a lot of money for just 2 games. That's tough. I don't know if I would jump on board with that one. If that was more priced around the $300 mark, I could see that. Turtles was about $400, and now they're re-releasing Turtles as well, but they're doing it in the Turtles in Time cabinet this time. Yep. But it'll still include both Turtles 1 and 2 in it, although it's going to be Wi-Fi, so now you can play with all your friends, or you can play with other people via Wi-Fi, which you couldn't do on the last one. Simpsons will be the same way, 4-player cabinet. These are great. They're neat, but gosh, they're expensive just for what you get. I mean, you want to get like what you got with the Street Fighter, where at least there's 12 or 13 other games on there. So that way you feel a little bit better about dropping the money versus like, 2 games, which they haven't even announced that it's Simpsons Bowling, but you can tell by the rolling ball in the middle, because it says The Simpsons and one other game, Simpsons Bowling, which was also done by Konami. Like, it makes perfect sense. You're already paying the licensings for one. You might as well get the other in there. And
the good news is, there are companies that make Raspberry Pi upgrade kits where you can get more games on it and basically, utilize what you need to, which is something I plan on doing down the road, but maybe not before the cabinet that I've been waiting for almost a year now.
The X-Men one still hasn't even seen the light of day.
Well, guess what? They just announced that is going on pre-sale on July 15th. So
finally.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. That's one that I'm going to be adding to the collection. So I've got a 2-person, I'll have a 4-person, eventually get a pinball cabinet, upgrade all of those, and have some fun with it. But needless to say, folks, that does it for today's show of the Proton Pack Podcast. As always, follow us online anywhere you get social at Proton Pack Podcast. And Tony, what do you want to leave the folks with today?
Same thing as I usually do. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Please give us feedback. Continue to like, subscribe, and check us out and support us in all endeavors. But let us know what you want us to cover on the Proton Pack, and we'll do our best to cover it. But until next week, we'll talk about the Nintendo E3 and more. So we'll see you next week. Peace.
See you all then.
I am. Hasta la vista, baby.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Woo! Yowie wowie.
Mommy, where's Fluffy?
Goodbye.